This is a funny one, and a caveat to preface this video is social media is not necessarily an accurate reflection of someone's internal state, their ideation, their mindset, their psychological, schemas and structures and things like that. What someone posts online could be nothing in consistency to who they are offline or who they are internally, just like how people can lie. And so what they verbally express isn't necessarily an accurate reflection of what's going on inside their head, like women. So let's get into it. Today I ended up interacting with a white supremacist account on Gab. And if you don't know, Gab is a notorious right-wing Nazi white supremacist website. But most all the Nazis on Gab are grifters and scammers and federal goy baiter agents and Mossad and Israelis and Jews who are pretending to be Nazis, internet Nazis, as well as Muslims. Somehow, with my psychology, I accurately, apparently deduced that brown Muslims were creating profiles with like Adolf Hitler in the profile picture and, white supremacy 1488 names. And so they were trying to incite white Christians against the Jews, so the white Christians would fight the Muslims' battle for them against the Jews. And the Jews were doing the same thing, trying to turn the whites against the Muslims. And so you would think white Christians, essentially, because that's the three branches of the Abrahamic religions, right? White Christians, brown Arabic Islam, and, Jewish Judaism. That's a battle that goes throughout history. And the two sides will create temporary factions against the third side, but those factions are always temporary because they're all out for themselves in the end. So you'll see Christianity uniting with Islam against Judaism. You'll see Christianity uniting with Israel and Judaism against Islam. And then you'll see Islam and Judaism uniting against white Christianity. They're all stabbing each other in the back. It's all a game of manipulation, deception, betrayal. Anyway. So, this account, I'll just do this. Oh, jeez. Okay, so today I've seen multiple, which is very common actually, multiple cases of white victims of cannabis-induced, violent criminal behavior. This guy is clearly under the influence of marijuana, serial rapist, white victims. And here we have a triple homicide. Freed by mental health workers who fear detaining him would be racist. It looks very likely like he's under the influence of cannabis, right? And the mental illness. So odds are his mental health issues caused by cannabis ultimately led to his triple homicide and cannabis-induced psychosis. So marijuana legalization is increasing white victimization of rapes and murders. And yet this alleged white supremacist, Nordic herbalist 420, now obviously if this is accurate, I do believe that it's very likely he is definitely a weed smoker because his ideation is not in touch with reality, it's detached from reality. And so he's got this Mossad meme, by way of deception, thou shalt make war. And this one is really interesting because this is a pornography reference, right? And white supremacists like this commonly say Jews are behind porn, yet here he is posting pornography memes with Donald Trump in women's underwear surrounded by rabbis. So, if that is accurate, Donald Trump legalized marijuana, so if his whole thing about how it's the Jews is correct, this means the Jews are pushing marijuana legalization because they hate white people. and Christianity, and therefore are utilizing and weaponizing marijuana to destroy, to increase the rape and murder of white Christians. And so there are Jews who absolutely celebrate things like this, right? So it's really curious to me, this detachment from reality and blatant hypocrisy, if it is accurate. And you see this a lot with white Christian and white supremacists, especially Gab Nazis, is they will blame the Jews for their own choices and actions. So let's just hypothetically say both are telling the truth. That Jews really are conspiring, right? They're in this global conspiracy to destroy white people, Christianity, and Western civilization, despite parasiting off of it, so they would actually want to preserve it. If it's such a great cash cow, you kill your cash cow, you lose your cash. Supply runs out, right? The parasite can't live without the host. But for argument's sake, let's just take these posts at face value as true. So if the Jews are destroying white people, and there's a lot of Jews, most Jews, pushing cannabis, pro-cannabis legalization, and also through way of deception, pushing the medical scam. Oh, it's not recreational, it's medicinal, despite all the harms caused by quote-unquote medicinal marijuana, including, like, one guy I saw, he had a medical card, said he used it for PTSD. Vets lie for drugs and fake symptoms to get drugs, including medical marijuana. It's a scam. It's just soft legalization. It's bullshit. That guy ended up shooting at officers and took them on a high-speed chase down the freeway to where they shot his tires out, and he was driving on rims, sparking, I think he shot at least 2 officers in that chase. Yeah. And they smelled marijuana and said that, and that's why he wasn't allowed to drive. And the reason they were called was his truck was halfway in the road, not even in alignment with the lanes, but and halfway on a sidewalk. And he left it there, running. So if that's true, then wouldn't this white weed junkie be against marijuana legalization? I mean, Seth Rogen, Ben Shapiro, Sarah Silverman, Lou Adler, Leor Cohen. Ron Jeremy committed 38 sex crimes and got off on dementia. Cannabis was present during those crimes, I guarantee it. And he has a cannabis strain. So clearly there is a Jewish marijuana thing. Now, there are some Jews against it, but they're not the majority of Jews. So if Jews have this malicious intent towards white Christian civilization, marijuana would feed into that intent. And clearly it is, given the victimization in rape and homicide and suicides and the increase of harder drug use with whites as the victims. And so he called me a Jew for opposing the Jewish agenda of marijuana legalization, which he himself verified with his meme saying the Jews controlled Trump, who legalized marijuana because he's anti-white. Could not be more hypocritical and full of shit.